Sure. If
Hey,
I
Pam, could I just interrupt for
Sure.
1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Obviously, as the audience has seen, if they've been on Twitter the last few days or if they've been living under a rock, Epstein, the famous New York financiers, had a specific island. We all know what the island was used for. I'm on YouTube and Spotify and Rumble, so everyone just calm down. I can't say everything that was on there, but we all know. Okay, Darren, we know. We know what was on the island. He goes away. He eventually, under the Trump administration in the first term, self-eliminates. Again, I have to use this YouTube language. So he self-eliminates, and under Trump's watch the first time. And then Trump on the campaign trail is like, we're going to release the JFK files. But every time they got to the Epstein files, they were like, are you going to release the Epstein files? And he was like, whoa, 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 whoa. There's a lot of people in the Epstein files. All right. We don't want innocent people to get hurt. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's hilarious. And then his cabinet, right, Darren, is filled with people. Like, for example, Kash Patel. Kash Patel was going on the media circuit from basically January of 2024 all the way till his confirmation, basically saying that, like, I've seen the Epstein files. I know who's in them.
Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list?
I'll do everything I can to release it to the public. And then as soon as he gets confirmed, he goes on Joe Rogan's podcast and he's like, guys, there's nothing there, guys. I looked at it myself.
I've said it. Dan Bongino said it. We've reviewed all the information, and the American public is going to get as much as we can release. He killed himself. Do you think, let's play out the logical conclusion of this. Do you think that myself, Bongino, and others would participate in hiding information about Epstein's grotesque activities?
Dan Bongino does the same freaking thing. Dan Bongino's is way worse because he looks nervous. I don't know if you've ever seen that clip of him saying he eliminated himself. He eliminated himself. He looks stressed out. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not pointing fingers here. And, Pam Bondi's the most recent one. All right. So Darren, she claimed that she had the client list on her desk and she was waiting review to make sure she can do it. Okay.
DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Now, you in the audience are like, Wyatt, this is all old news. We already know all of this. This is all common knowledge. Well, according to, what would this be, last week for you viewers, Dan Bongino and Pam Bondi have decided that the Epstein client list does not exist.
According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
She was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that.
And I know what you guys are thinking. How the fuck is that even possible? If you said you had it, and you said you've seen it, and now you're saying it doesn't exist, this all can't be true, right? Like, none of this is true. So, Darren, I just want to get your take, first of all of this nonsense that has been going on, and then we'll go into like a slightly deeper dive of the Epstein files themselves. Like, what do we think about those? But just like the absurdity right now of what's going on, what is your take?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're lying. I mean, it couldn't
Which
be
time?
any more.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry, not to cut you off again.
No, you're fine. Yeah, I mean, well, the client list it certainly exists or existed. It's totally possible that it no longer exists and was destroyed. I think that's certainly a possibility because I imagine there were very limited copies of the thing. So it's a lie on its face. Honestly, I don't know if this is if I'm getting too far into it by saying this, but I'll go ahead and just say it. I think certainly some of Trump's friends or Trump himself might be ever so slightly implicated in it. I don't know that Trump is implicated, because if he was, then I feel like the Democrats would have leaked it back when Biden was president.
Oh God.
But also, I don't know, because I feel like a lot of powerful Democrats are probably implicated. I mean, Epstein was on pretty good terms with Bill Clinton as well, so there is that angle. And even if Trump isn't implicated, I mean, like Alan Dershowitz, which is a friend of Trump's, I mean,
His
I
lawyer.
think, yeah, I'm pretty sure he, his name is certainly in the Epstein files, and I remember him defending himself on Fox News about it. I don't know if Trump is like saving his own hide or like saving the hide of someone else, but obviously people who Trump probably does care about are implicated in it. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
mean
mean,
that's just obvious to me.
yeah, I mean, Trump is obviously implicated here. I mean, we have that leaked clip, right, of Epstein saying that Trump is his best friend.
So how do you know this? That was close to straight.
Right? He's his best friend, Darren. He's his best friend for years. And for the record, just to be clear, for those of you who just listened to that clip is from before Trump even announced he was running for president. So there's no like political motive here. That's, just for the record, right? And then, of course, there's all the videos of him and Trump together, which, by themselves, they're not incriminating, right? They just, hey, they're friends, right? He's friends with the internationally known PDF. It's just very weird. I'm just saying it's just very weird that Epstein died on his watch. I mean, if you're a sleeper cell, like let's say you were watching us right now and you're like a sleeper cell for like Ben Shapiro or Crowder. I just want you to just start typing in those comment sections like, hey, didn't Epstein die on Trump's watch? Like, wasn't there that leaked recording? Like, just spur the conspiracy. That's what I'm pushing. You know what I mean? But I do have one contest with what you said, and I'd love to hash this out for just a little bit. This idea that, well, why didn't if Trump's in there, why would the Democrats not leak it, right? Like, they tried to throw him in prison. You know what I mean? And there's just one hole with that, and that is it's very clear that at least some other Democrats are implicated by this. So it's one of those things where if you use this weapon, everybody gets in trouble. So, but not Biden. Biden, almost no one claims that Biden's in there. Only the most unhinged, Republicans will even say that. But, like you said, Bill Clinton is in there. Dershowitz is a Democrat, friend of Trump, but still a Democrat, right? I just don't buy that just simply because Trump was in there that they would release it. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Also, there is like a foreign intelligence angle. Like, a lot of people think that Jeffrey Epstein might have had some ties with the Mossad.
No, just cool it with the anti-Semitic remarks.
So maybe there's like I mean, I think he did, but
Yeah,
it's all speculation, of course. So, I mean, it's almost like a fact. Yeah, I mean, but I guess I have to preface it with like it might be the case.
Well, it doesn't exist anymore, Darren. I don't know what you're talking. It doesn't.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
Go ahead. Sorry.
But anyways, that's also an angle. So it could be like, okay, we don't want to release it and get the Israelis in trouble, I guess, in terms of public perception, which I think is a factor. I mean, they're obviously not, no administration is willing to push back against the Israelis. So I think that's certainly a part of it. or it could be. I don't know. On the other hand, though, I do want to say for our viewers out there, I don't know that I would say I could ever see Trump being a PDF file, in the sense I can't see Trump like graping an 8-year-old, but I could see him having intercourse with a 17-year-old, not knowing she was 17, and then Epstein like recording it, or something, and then being like, "Oh yeah, she was 17. I own your ass now." She was not 18, she was 17.
Well, even
So,
then, I'd be really shocked if that happened. I mean, just to be like transparent with the audience, Trump has a lot of sins. Many of them being, his inability to have sex with just his wife. But if you look at the women Trump is into, it's pretty much like hot European, adults. It's not it's not like he's Leonardo DiCaprio where he's always dating 21-year-olds, right? So I don't think he's guilty of PDF. I really don't, genuinely don't. But he is one thing that I will go to the grave on, unless there's just overwhelming evidence to the contrary, is that he is fairly good friends with a guy who has been convicted of basically a PDF prostitution ring, right? Like, I mean, that's what the island was. He was friends with that guy, and not just somewhat, but he was close friends with that guy. And that to me is enough. And I don't think it is for his supporters. They're talking a big game right now on Twitter. I assure you they'll just either deny it or they'll just say that, Trump himself wasn't guilty or whatever, right?
well, I gotta disagree with you there. I mean, maybe they were friends, and all that, but I don't believe in like guilt by association. I mean Trump Epstein like made
What?
sure to run. Well, he was like a quote unquote wealthy financier, so he
Darren,
ingratiated himself in all these circles. So I mean, there's obviously Trump's met him and probably knew him, and they
Darren,
probably went to
Darren,
parties.
Darren. I'm not
I'm saying him knowing him doesn't make him guilty. I'm just saying there's a chance that
Darren,
Trump committed some sexual indiscretion. Like, I'm not saying that's not possible, but I'm
Darren,
saying that also that there's no guilt just by being friends with the guy.
Darren.
There's no guilt
We're
just
not,
by being friends with the guy. The
Darren,
dude, like every celebrity knew the guy. You're gonna say every celebrity's at
Darren.
fault for being friends with the guy?
Not every celebrity said that. Jeffrey Epstein didn't say that he was every celebrity's best friend. He said that he was Donald Trump's best friend, right? And it's not like Jeffrey Epstein was, some dude who committed some minor act once in his life and, he was given a second chance. We're talking about a dude that is second only to like Satan himself and like Heinrich Himmler. Okay? Like we're talking about like one of the
Oh my
worst
god.
one of the worst human beings in the history of existence, right? I mean, let's tone it down a little bit. If you
Okay,
were
well,
friends with
okay.
that guy, that is a lack of discernment at best.
Trump does display a lack of discernment. I mean, look at his first admin. I mean, he fired everyone. Everybody turned on him. So he certainly has a lack of discernment. And I would say even in his second admin, he has not learned the lessons he should have learned.
Well, even that,
I mean,
I'm saying the fact that
JD Vance is the
association,
man's vice president.
the
JD
fact,
Vance is the man's vice president, and you're going to say he doesn't. I mean, he obviously does not have good discernment skills.
sure,
So I'm saying Epstein could have totally been his friend, and there's a chance Trump didn't do anything. I mean,
right.
Stephen Hawking went to that island. Who is Stephen Hawking graping? who is Stephen Hawking going to grape?
Yeah, Darren, whenever I think of, Trump's discernment, it goes something like this. Peter Navarro, JD Vance, Steve Bannon, and then, Jeffrey fucking Epstein. Like, are you out of your mind? One of these things is not like the other. One of these things is not like the other.
There is okay.
Are you psychotic? What is the hell is wrong? What are we even arguing here? If you were Darren, let me ask you this. If you were at a PTA meeting and you were sitting next to a guy and the dude was doing full-on Roman salutes and he was wearing a patch and he was saying, just insert something anti-Semitic, right? Would you be like, oh, well, look, dude, this says nothing about me, Like, you'd be like, dude, I need to get away. Like, this is, have you lost your mind?
Okay, I'm trying to think of like a different analogy, like
one that doesn't make you seem completely fucking stupid.
Okay, again, not everybody can just be guilty by association. Not everybody can be guilty by association. I mean, I mean, it was a secret PDF file island for a reason. I mean, it couldn't be out in the open. So there's a totally good chance. I mean, if it was out in the open and people like Trump knew with his big mouth, don't you think somebody would have caught on a little sooner that stuff was going down on that island? I don't know. I don't agree with the whole guilt by association thing, because if Trump is guilty by association, so was Stephen Hawking and all the other people photographed on that island.
Me, big Stephen Hawking defender. Yeah, you really got me on that one. Big Stephen Hawking fan.
Yeah, I'm not some big Stephen Hawking fan, but you can look on its face why it would be ridiculous to assume he was graping anyone, I mean, I think the logistics of it is it's impossible. How could he do that?
What are you even talking about now?
I like Stephen Hawking's
phallus. I get it. I understand that it could be difficult for him given his condition, but you're saying that therefore, if I'm not going to judge Stephen Hawking, why would I judge Trump? Well, it's because Trump, according to Epstein, is his best friend. There is such a difference here. And have you not heard every time that Trump has to talk about Epstein, it's like there's a firearm to his head. It's like he's nervous. He's like, shoot, who knows? And I'm like, okay, that's interesting.
Sure. Could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Huh.
Well, I will concede that Trump is certainly suspicious on this matter, and I do think that whether him or people around him would certainly be in hot water if he was on those files, or if those files came out. So I do believe that, but I'm just kind of rejecting your belief that there's like this guilt by association thing, because let me say this, what if you in your shop building, what if you had like some child like chained to the radiator or whatever, there's no way I'd know about it, because I don't go to your shop building.
Right. Yeah, no, you know what, Darren?
But we do a podcast every week.
What you're saying makes total sense, and I acknowledge Trump has admitted of all wrongdoing. Iran was building nuclear weapons.
Trump was.
He did not have sex
24/7.
with He did not have sex with Stormy Daniels. He's never lied.
That is not what I'm saying. It was on a secluded island. How was Trump to know? How was if Epstein wanted to keep the fact
how is
Trump,
he supposed to know? It's only his best friend. friend.
Okay, so they're at a slumber party and they're they're playing 21 questions. Oh, what did you do this weekend, Epstein? Oh, I diddled some kids. No, that's not how it would go. It's a clandestine operation where, yeah, you know what? You're trying to get a rise out of me because good and well, you're wrong. But yeah, okay, I've stated my case.
I will say this is going to be good fuel for Elon if he can stay energized. This will be good fuel for him. So to make his case for his party. So
Yes, the
and even if it's
classic
not
Elon.
true, just use it anyway. Like
Oh yeah. Elon did imply that Trump was in the Epstein files. He did recant a little on his tweet. I think he did make a tweet saying that what he said was uncalled for, but
it didn't say
I
it
think
was
he
wrong.
probably I think he does know something. I
Jesse
don't know
Waters'
what.
take was just hilarious, by the way.
But a little beef about the big, beautiful bill. Guys can get over that stuff. We call each other pedophiles, but we don't always mean it.